Hello and welcome back to House Flipper 2 and the Great Sandbox tutorial. I'm Minus Designs, and today we are going to talk about molding. Now generally there are a couple of different types of molding that you can play around with. I usually classify it down into 4 classes. The first is floor molding, otherwise known in many countries as baseboard. Then we have a chair or side molding, not something you typically see, although I do have chair molding here in my house, and it's usually meant to protect your wall from your dining room chairs from hitting the wall, because the back of the chair actually extends out past the bottom of the legs. Then there's ceiling molding, which you don't find too much of. Again, I actually have it in some parts of my house, but not in every room. And then the last one is backsplash molding. So floor molding in this game is probably the easiest, or baseboard. You have a bunch of different options. So when you go into your store, you can go into the building section, into architectural elements, and then into other, and you will see you have different types of molding. So we have this one here, which kind of has like a little curve to the bottom. And then we have this one here, which has a little lip there, which is gonna honestly collect a lot of dust. This one here, which is pretty tiny, it's not very tall. And this one's even smaller, but it does stick out the wall a little bit more because of the way it's shaped there with the little curve. This one here, which kind of curves to the bottom, this is something that's probably closer to a lot of molding people have. And then this one here with the little grooves, again, this is probably something a lot of people have as molding. Now if we pick this one here, and we get different options. So you don't have all of the surface options, but you do have a lot of them. For instance, you can put white marble, or pick a stone, or terracotta. You have all your different woods, plastics, and then you have kind of some dirty options, and then like particle board and cork. If you were to come in here and, you know, like let's say right now I'm looking at a pine floor, maybe I'll want something that's painted wood, slightly gray. I don't like having a shiny side here, so what I'll tend to do is to pick another wood here, just in case it extends out, especially by like the door. I don't want it to look awkward. Yeah, that's faded. Let's go with faded. There we go. Alright, so now when you go to put this down, you'll notice if you try to go up to the wall, it's not there for some odd reason. It's reversed. So you just use your middle mouse wheel and rotate it. Nice thing about molding in this game is that you can just click and drag. This is even in the base game. And you can go behind furniture without any problem. Which is quite nice, because having to move furniture to put down molding, or try to put down molding first, can get really confusing for a lot of people. Alright, so chair molding, again, not something you see in everybody's home. You can choose any one of these to do chair molding. Like you could pick this one here and put it at about chair height. There used to be chair molding back in the day that was kind of like a way to hook your chairs up here so you can hang them up. Not something we really see anymore these days. To do ceiling molding is a bit of a trick. So if we were to pick something like this one here, you'll notice that you can't actually go up to the ceiling, and any rotation is just, you know, across the z-axis, instead of being able to flip it upside down across the y. It can be quite annoying. So this is not an option you can use in the base game, but in Sandbox we can, because you can lay it down, go into your move tool, and make sure you have grid snapping on, and you can take this and you can rotate it around just like that, and now you have ceiling molding. Again, we can put our molding down, grab the move tool with snap grid on and rotate it around. Does look pretty good. It is a really good option. There are other options to do, which we'll talk about later in another video when we get into resizables. But yeah, it's a pretty good option. The last option is backsplash molding. I don't see too many people doing this, but we have it a lot in our homes, and so I always like to add, not to every home, but to a lot of homes, a transition piece from the counters to my backsplash. So what this piece is really just a continuation of the counter material against the wall, and it kind of cuts it up, so instead of just having this harsh right angle, we can add in a little piece. And I like to use these little pieces, these little molding pieces, and I will pick the same material that's on my countertop. I'm going to pick black iron here, and I'm just going to extend it across. Now if we were to pick a different item here for our top here, like let's say driftwood, and then we were to come up here and change this to driftwood, you can see that transition a little bit better. And I don't know, for me, I like it. I think it adds something a little bit extra. It's not hard to do, as you saw. I mean, it was just a real quick click and drag operation, but I think it just adds something a little bit extra into your homes. I mean, unless you're building something old school, I don't recommend the chair or side molding, but definitely our floor moldings here. And if we whiten that up a little bit here, there we go. Copy that everywhere. There we go. And so we got our ceiling molding, baseboard, and our backsplash molding. It looks quite good. So with that, thank you for joining. Hopefully you learned a little bit about molding, and I will see y'all next time.